hate your bald ass so much. And then Big Stoke on Twitter goes, wow, Hook will pay for his crimes. It was confirmed that there was a forearm fracture which required a cast. I am distraught. I rolled dice with my left hand, so I'm please don't make me sue this company, Tony Khan. Please, you know that a portrait of your father that's hanging in your office? Well, once I own this company, I'm replacing it with a big-ass photo of James Brown. Yep. Every time you see the Godfather of Soul sweating in drug-fueled rage at the Apollo, you're gonna think of me. Sounds pretty miserable, bro. Do the right thing. Punish this little bastard Hook and write me a fat check. By the way, here's a photo of me with my best friend Al Sharpton. It means absolutely nothing, by the way. Blushing face. But somebody tweeted, he tweeted, Hook is a piece of shit, and then somebody tweeted this. Some woman, I dated a 5'8" guy who taunt every I dated a 5'8" guy who taunt every jacked. 6'3" bro he met until they pulled their first back to beat him up. Whereupon my ex would go, hey, come on. I'm a little guy. I'm just a little guy. No, it's just also my birthday. I'm a birthday boy. It somehow always worked. And then Stokely just quote tweets it. Fuck you. Tony Brown, but who the fuck's in the background? It's Hook. It's fucking Hook. And then he's getting twerked on by some fucking broad. My t-shirt money is now in the ass crack of some fucking stripper. So thanks, Hook. But I don't. But Jesus Christ, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Clip it.
Oh,
but actually, hey, it worked out in the long run.
I actually do hope they make another season actually, because I would love to see the American Dragon on Total Bellas start memeing on John Laurinaitis. You have live footage of John Laurinaitis in his living room calling somebody in his underwear saying, "Hey, bud, you fired."
What did Max Caster say about me?
Like I'm embarrassed the fact that I'm hosting a post show for this crap.
I'm proud of you, Carl. I love this.
We did our Valentine's Day post of Hooked on You, but it was mainly for Jamie Hayter and only Jamie Hayter.
It's not right. It's not right. This is fucking trying to build an account and we get this bullshit on the account. Great. But
also follow a simp account.
Okay. Okay, but here's the thing, because those people, this is networking. This is
we actually
networking.
follow.
You got
it was a business decision.
It's a business. It's a business. You have to follow these people. This is like following. If you want a stan account, you got to follow the other stans. And when you get big, you get rid of them. You get rid of them after that. It's over with.
I open up our Instagram and the first thing I see is Pro Wrestling Simp, and I'm like, what is this?
I don't look at that. I don't look at that stuff. It's a business decision because that guy promotes us, and then when we don't need him anymore, we toss him aside. That's what happens.
Yeah, well, we got go so fucking slap it on a t-shirt and continue to use the move forehead.
This guy just say fucking forehead.
Switch. What?
This guy say forehead.
Yes, I did.
You think I fucking wouldn't catch that? You think nobody on this program would catch that? But I did. For weird.
You almost didn't.
For weird.
Let's be honest. You almost didn't.
Weird champ. This is what we resort to here.
All right. Next up.
Unbelievable. 5 head.
Next up, we have.
Why people happy? Pagu. Weird champ. Weird. Forehead.
Oh god.
Franker faces.
Oh.
Wowie. Why people sad? What else?
Look at how red my face is.
What else we got? Let me go on Twitch right quick. Okay.
Why?
Why do people happy? KW, LOLW, XQCL.
All right. The Acclaim promo now. We were backstage.
Okay.
They're just like, yo, It's not gonna be a triple. It's not gonna be a
Yo,
normal.
dude, we're gonna do a fatal four-way poggers, bro. Thanks for the fucking
God
bits.
fucking damn it. It's Wednesday, guys. You know what that means. It is time for your weekly dose of the Pro Wrestling Injection right here on the Pro Wrestling Injection YouTube and Twitch. We are back after a hiatus. It was technical problems, not feeling well, work. We were all just out of sorts. So apologize for the 3-week absent. 2. What was it again?
I'm not sure. I think it was 3.
Let me look.
But
at
anyway,
yeah.
But anyway, a lot happened when in terms of news wise, in the last 3 weeks. I mean, I shouldn't say that there was a lot, but it was kind of stuff that is gonna play out within itself, and like in the future. It's not really like immediate shit, but anyway, we had a lot of stuff go on in terms. Well, basically, we had the entire G1 Climax tournament that's been underway. Today actually was the last night of block action, and the the quarterfinals and semifinals, part of the semifinals have been set, and it's looking very, very promising. This has been a very, very good G1. Very much enjoyed it. Um, I've seen every night. I just watch it every morning. It's very fun to watch.
It's
If you're
hard
gonna
for
watch
me.
any New Japan, uh, throughout the year, definitely catch the G1. But the quarterfinals have been set, and so basically the way they did it this year, instead of the top two block leaders coming out and then wrestling for the final, and that's it. It's the top three block leaders, and then they do basically a mini tournament within such. So, first off, in the A block, we have the leader of the A block with 14 points, Zack Sabre Jr. He will receive a bye into the semifinals, and the second and third place of A block will wrestle each other to go wrestle Zack in the semis. Those men are Shingo Takagi and Great-O-Khan. Great-O-Khan beat Naito to get in there, so it's either going to be Shingo or O-Khan that wrestles Zack to gain entry into the finals on the A block side. And on the B block side, David Finlay led his block at 12 points, and he received the bye into the semifinals. And the other two men who came in second and third were Konosuke Takeshita and Yota Tsuji. So Yota Tsuji and Takeshita will wrestle tomorrow. Great-O-Khan and Shingo, and then Takeshita and Tsuji will all wrestle tomorrow, but Takeshita and Tsuji will wrestle to see whoever faces David Finlay, and whoever wins that matchup between those two and David Finlay will wrestle in the finals against the person coming out of the A block. If I had to make a quick prediction right now, before the G1 started, my prediction to win the tournament was Zack Sabre Jr. I didn't think they would actually go for it, but this is the first time since 2019, when Kota Ibushi won for the first time, that we're gonna have a new winner of the G1, because the last years since 2019 it was Ibushi, Okada, then Naito last year, and all 6 of these men have never won the G1 before. If I had to make a prediction, I think the final is going to be Zack Sabre Jr. versus Yota Tsuji. Um, I think any potential final here is very, very suitable, and I would really love any of these men to win the tournament. But I think in A block it's between Zack and Shingo, and in B block it's between Tsuji and David Finlay. I can see Takeshita making the final. I wouldn't be surprised if he made the final, but I don't think he's gonna win the tournament. Um, but yeah, that's just the update on the G1. The quarterfinals go live tomorrow, and then there's a day off, and then the next 2 days will be the semifinals and the finals of the G1. So very excited for that. And in other news, we had some notes about some potential shows that AEW are looking to run. One of which was said to be in the Dallas area.
for a stadium show, and it was most likely the baseball stadium next to AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play. So there was that, and then there was a venue in Australia they were looking at. So that's something to keep an eye on. That's probably that's how what's next year's All In is gonna be. We'll see if it gets announced at the pay-per-view, but we'll see because we can't really make speculation on that because
Yeah.
that's venue shit. But also, when it comes to stuff like that, I mean, it's a big time for AEW. Tony's been teasing this big announcement that's coming imminently. Everybody knows what it is. It's the media rights agreement and the new media rights deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. That's gonna happen. I could see that happening the weekend of the pay-per-view, or the week after,
Do
or
you
the week in between, All In and All Out.
as
But that's gonna happen within the couple weeks.
I'm thinking this, do we think that maybe All Out would be the first pay-per-view they do on Max if they do the streaming deal?
No, that's way too quick of a turnaround. I think because you have
Well,
to you have
because remember, like
because
they already have the pay-per-views and shows out in like out of
well
states.
well that was actually that there was something more to that. Apparently in like France when that was like that's been on there for months. It didn't just appear.
Okay.
Like that's been on there for months. But that's the thing though. That's obviously France isn't the highest demographic for AEW. But no, I think Wrestle Dream is probably maybe the first one. I don't think it's gonna be All Out because they're already selling a double pack of All In and All Out on Triller. If you're watching the pay-per-view through there, and also that'd be way too quick of a turnaround to announce a media rights deal, and you have to condition your entire fan base to move over to one spot to another. So that's just way too quick. A week is not going to be able to do that, and because they're going to need a couple weeks of television to like tell people to get the fuck off of wherever they are and get on
Alright.
Max.
Figure I throw it out because like
But yeah,
because All Out is like their second biggest pay-per-view.
yeah. As soon as I saw them put up that double pack, I'm like, yeah, no, that's way
'Cause,
too
like,
quick.
If you look at it from a WWE side thing of their big four and AEW's big four, it's All Out, Double or Nothing, All In, and I guess now Wrestle Dream.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say Revolution would be in
Fair
the
enough,
Wrestle Dream
yeah.
spot. But
Or even switch up Revolution for Forbidden Door. Too.
yeah, maybe. But I will, yeah, but I will say this though. That's gonna happen imminently. I mean, Tony already did go to Paris during the Olympics to go meet with David Zaslav.
And also
probably to
fucking
discuss
Shane
it.
McMahon.
Well, that wasn't the Paris thing.
Oh, that wasn't in Paris? I thought that was...
No, it wasn't.
that's right.
That was so yeah. The Shane McMahon stuff that was just that was in an airport, in the States somewhere, and they were just discussing business apparently, and it was like a potential opportunities. And that's the thing. Everybody was like, oh, went all crazy about it, and like, oh my god, here Shane McMahon's gonna start feuding with fucking Kazuchika Okada next week. No, like like that. If you're a business person,
You don't put Shane on
Tony-
the show.
No. If you're a business person and you have somebody who knows the business and who has been in the business and basically who has long ties to the business, obviously because of his family and stuff, this is nothing new. Business people have business meetings with people they don't even work with and aren't going to work with all the time. This is literally just a meeting. They may never speak to each other again. This is what happens in business.
For all we know, it could have just been, hey, do you have any advice?
No,
going
it's
into
not
like,
even
the latter half.
It's not even that. It's literally people take this. I mean, it's wrestling fans, so I mean, it's part of the
We are
course.
about as
But-
as sharp as a fucking
I wouldn't.
like,
I wouldn't.
as
I
a
wouldn't.
butter knife.
I wouldn't say we. I'd say a large contingent of people, but because there is wrestling fans that are no worth no shit. But this, I will say this: if you went on Twitter, that's already your first mistake. If you went on Twitter and you looked at comments section, you think this guy's fucking gonna show up on Dynamite and fucking run in the main event. Are we for real? Are you for real at this point? This is a fucking business meeting. Yeah, it could amount to something like that. But know what else it can amount to as? Two billionaire sons talking about shit and saying, "Hey, if you want to work together in the future, let's keep going. Let's talk.
Hey, whose silver spoon's bigger?
Let's keep going. Let's talk." Or okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. It's not me defending it because listen, I don't think there's any excuse, and I don't think that Shane should be on AEW television. I'm not a fan of that. But this is a business meeting. This shit happens all the time. People acting like fucking AEW and WWE haven't interacted before in a business sense. Are you fucking crazy? They absolutely have. Now, I'm not talking about doing like a partnership, but look what happened with Billy Gunn when he went to the Hall of Fame. You didn't think there had to be some discussions about that? You didn't think during this whole TNA NXT thing that took a while to get off the ground? You think they said, "Hey, Sean just fucking called up Scott D'Amore"? Well, not Scott D'Amore anymore. It's called up them and said, "Hey, send me some guys and let me put them on TV." No. This is business meetings. This is literally how it goes. If you any company, even not in wrestling, they're talking to other people. How do you think the NFL got the new kickoff rule? What do you think they say? They watched the XFL and the UFL and said, "Hey, I like that. Let's do it." No, they talk to fucking people. It's really a shame what some wrestling fans think how the world works, but it is. I mean, whatever. But yeah. So 2 billionaires had a business meeting. That's a big shocker. I know, big one. I've never been more shocked in my life. But anyway. But yeah, the media rights deal is coming. That'll be soon. It'll probably get announced at the Warner Bros. Discovery upfronts, which is where most of their shit is announced. I mean, Disney just had theirs. So it's that type of season when it comes to big businesses. But yeah. But anyway, basically all the other news came down to a bunch of free agency news. And we'll start off with some rapid fire ones. First off, after his match with Dax Harwood a couple months ago, the Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington, he was offered a contract by AEW, and quickly after, WWE hit up his people and basically asked if he had any interest in going there, but he ended up signing with AEW, which that's not new. WWE has done that before, and I mean, that's how you play the game. But what's it called? But Tommy Billington is signed by AEW. The Beast Mortos is officially signed by AEW. And also there is reports going on because he just wrestled MJF at the Rev Pro show, which was a great match, by the way. Go check it out. For the American Championship. But sources in Rev Pro claim both Michael Oku and Amira, his fiance and valet, and she's also a wrestler as well, are close to joining AEW and are expected to soon. There's not been a deal signed yet, but AEW sources said they wouldn't be surprised to see them end up on the AEW UK shows. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him on All In the Casino Gauntlet match. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I think that's an excellent pickup for AEW. Would I have liked to see him maybe have like a quick little run in Japan or stay on the indies a little bit longer, and just get more and more of a name out there like how Ospreay did? Yes, but you're not gonna see me complaining about you're not gonna see me complaining about them picking up Michael Oku and Amira, and the top act in British professional wrestling, and the indie scene over there, because that guy is immensely talented. That guy, Michael Oku, is I mean, that guy's out of this world. Um, but yeah. Also, in terms of free agency, not well. This really isn't free agency, but Mina Shirakawa, which we could speak on tonight as well. But Mina Shirakawa, she is taking a hiatus from Stardom to come over to the States for a while, which that was present tonight. So we'll talk more about that. And we also had Julia. She's leaving. She's having her final match, I think tomorrow, and then she's finally going to NXT. But yeah. But the big ones, when it comes to AEW departure wise, one of which was Ricky Starks, which he obviously his contract isn't over yet, and he's still there. But I mean, this is like, if you're a football fan, you'll understand this. But literally a year and a half ago, before 2 drafts, you knew Caleb Williams was going to be the first overall pick to the Chicago Bears. You knew that for about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
We've known AEW fans have known Ricky Starks is as good as gone for WWE, probably for about a year and a half as well. So that really is a surprise. There was a report saying that people in WWE are expecting Ricky Starks to leave AEW when his deal's up, which we were also expecting that a lot earlier than they were.
There's also like talks of Daniel Garcia leaving as well.
Yeah, Garcia. The Garcia thing. I'm gonna say that for the end because I have something to say on that.
Mm-hmm.
But the other big one was the Lucha Bros, which Penta and Phoenix. Penta primarily. Penta. There's been multiple reports saying that Penta is gonna leave, and Penta wants to leave for WWE, and basically Phoenix. Because I think they have the same deal, but Phoenix, he doesn't want to screw up what Phoenix is doing right now.
Yeah.
Penta, but the Lucha Bros apparently are rumored to be going to WWE. Penta came out and said that his present is AEW, but that obviously doesn't mean his future is in WWE. That would be a big time loss for AEW. Two of the big AEW originals, Latin talent, and one of the best tag teams in the world. That one would hurt for the AEW roster because those are two guys you could plug in anywhere at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many times have Penta and Phoenix been plugged in somewhere where, if something goes wrong, if somebody gets hurt, or they just need somebody to work something, call Penta, call Phoenix.
Hell, big
Call them
example
both.
at Grand Slam, the one that we all attended, when you have the audible call to Mox's concussion.
Yeah, it's like, give Phoenix a title. But yeah, that would be a big time loss for AEW if that's the case.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just the nature of the business. Guys are gonna jump. Guys are gonna come back. Guys are gonna leave. Guys are gonna stay. Guys are gonna jump in between companies. It's just what happens.
Someone
And,
did post like
nothing
a
wrong with
very funny tweet that I subtweeted, which was Satin Singh has re-signed with AEW for 30 years, and I was like, let's fucking go.
My thing about the Lucha Bros, if they go to WWE, is just I hope to Christ that they just don't end up in the fucking LWO or the Legado del Fantasma fucking trap that most of the Mexican talent over there has fallen into. I mean, it's a fucking joke at this point. I mean,
100%.
if you're a Mexican talent if you're a Latin talent on the main roster, you're fucking going to either the LDF or LWO. It's a joke. The only one that was able to make it out unscathed was Andrade, but even when he came in, he was involved in that shit. But yeah, they don't need to be involved in that. And that's the other thing too. There was I don't know how true this was, but there was a thing saying that they might not want to go to NXT. But which I would understand because they already have. I mean, there's no reason for them to be in NXT. If they walk into WWE, they probably in my opinion, they're probably walking in there the best tag team in the company. Because the Usos aren't active right now. And to be honest, I think they're better than the Usos. I love the Usos. Don't get me wrong, I love the Usos. But I think Phoenix and Penta are one of the best tag teams of this generation. In terms of tag teams of this generation, what you got the Bucks, you got FTR, you got the Usos, you got the Briscoes, you have Lucha Bros. So and you get another brother tag team in there. So
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll see. But the other one that was pretty big was the Daniel Garcia one. And that which it's there's no rumor about him leaving. It's just he's trying to make a decision either to stay with AEW or go to WWE. We don't know if he has an outstanding offer. He wouldn't have an offer because that'd be tampering, but if he has interest from WWE. But my thing about Daniel Garcia is I think it would be a huge mistake on his part to leave AEW.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's not me just being an AEW fan, because I'm a fan of all these companies. But I think that would be a huge fucking mistake if I was him, because number one, if he stays with AEW, he automatically has a match, a pay-per-view match with the top heel in the company, let alone the business, in
Yeah.
MJF. He had a unbelievable match with Will Ospreay. He was involved in a major angle with Ospreay and MJF. He is and has been endorsed by a who's who of the fucking roster: Bryan Danielson, Ospreay, MJF, everybody, Jericho, everybody. He would still have the opportunity to work other places. I know he's always said he wanted to do the best of the Super Juniors. And
crazy.
And but if he goes to WWE, he's gonna end up on NXT and he's gonna be another guy.
Mm.
And because look at what NXT is right now. NXT is very good right now. But look at the champion, it's Ethan Page. Ethan Page is everything you could want in a pro wrestler. But he is very, very tailored to what NXT is. Ethan Page, that is. Daniel Garcia is not tailored to what NXT is right now, because NXT is like it feels like the college version of WWE main roster. Not like college football, but like it feels like it's just a bunch of young and hungry guys down there trying to prove themselves. And that's kind of what Garcia is, but the champions over there are guys that are main roster ready. And do I think Garcia is main roster ready? Absolutely. But do I think in terms of WWE's roster and what they're presenting right now? No, you're not going to have Daniel Garcia go to the main roster and realistically challenge for world championships. You think, what are you going to fucking do? Fucking Roman and Daniel Garcia? No. You're going to do fucking Jacob Fatu and Garcia, Cody. I'm struggling thinking of doing like what would you do? Garcia and LA Knight for the United States, fucking Gunther. He's the world champion over there. Who's the Intercontinental champion? Braun Breaker.
Yeah. Who
it's
murdered
like I don't see
Sami Zayn on Monday.
Yeah, I don't see Garcia doing that right now. If he wants to stay in AEW and then leave, that would make more sense to me. It's just I think even if his end goal is he wants to go to WWE, I think right now he should stay in AEW. He's so young. He's got a lot more to do in AEW. He's got the office and Tony Khan and the top talent in the company have faith in him, and they love him. They are pushing him, and he's involved in top angles. This guy could easily, in my opinion, be an international or TNT champion within this year if he stays. And in a couple years, this guy could be challenging for the world championship.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I think it would be nonsensical for him to leave. I just really think that it's the same thing I was saying about Drew McIntyre when the Drew McIntyre stuff was contract was being talked about. He would have been foolish to leave WWE.
Yeah, he was
He
on.
would have been
Yeah.
no, he would have been a fucking fool to do that. Why would you give up you're in the title picture? They handed you the I mean, obviously the cash in happened, but they handed you the world title at WrestleMania. You have a big fucking blood feud with CM Punk going on, which is honestly maybe that feud and the Mariah May Tony Storm feud have probably been the best feuds of the year so far in wrestling. There was no reason for Drew to leave. If Drew fucking left to go to AEW, I would have been like, what the fuck is like that would have been nonsense. Like I get it, like maybe he wanted like personal reasons, but I mean Christ almighty, the amount of money that was gonna be made in that Punk feud, and he's gonna end up being the world champion again. I mean, obviously he's gonna be Drew's gonna end up winning the world championship. He's one of the most popular guys on the roster. He's at the top of the card. That's what Garcia's gonna be if he stays. If he goes to WWE, he's just going to be another guy. And he's going to be lower on the pecking order than a lot of people understand. And I know because there's a lot of guys over there that he came up with.
Mm-hmm.
And guys like Carmelo Hayes, he came up with. Guys like, I mean, they technically don't work there, but like Wesley and the Rascals. I mean, Wesley works there, but like Trey Miguel and Zach Wentz, they don't work there. They work in the TNA. But
good on
a lot of these guys in
Michaels
NXT.
Yeah, plugging that hole.
And Ethan Page, fucking Dragon Lee, just a bunch of guys that he came up with are over there, and I mean Ricky's probably about to be over there. It's just it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense for him to leave AEW. He has. It's literally the same thing as Drew. He has everything. He's got a timeline of big fucking things in his future if he stays with AEW. Big time matches. Literally, he's got a match. I mean, I'm still convinced, even if he hasn't resigned, I'm still convinced that he's going to end up getting involved in this American title match between Ospreay and MJF.
Oh yeah,
and then MJF wrestles him at All Out. But that's not a guarantee. If he hasn't signed something yet. But look, he's got and that's the thing too. After that All Out match, he ain't done with MJF. He ain't done. So I think
another thing is too.
I really think it's the right decision to stay because I think he'd just be another guy.
There's also one piece of news I want to touch on because it actually happened the day after we were on a hiatus. But yeah, like with Daniel Garcia and like it's been an idea that's been passed around both probably within AEW and within the fantasy booking community. Have them do stuff with the Blackpool Combat Club finally. Now that Brian is going to be not full time, have him do some stuff with the Blackpool Combat Club. Yes, I know that the dancing is extremely over and he'll never stop doing it, but have him do stuff with the Blackpool Combat Club again. Have him have him actually work with them or even join them.
You know, people talk about this dancing shit like it's something bad. Like,
well, no, I'm saying because like in the context of Blackpool Combat Club, it doesn't fit.
Well, it does fit. That's the thing. Because everybody in the fucking Blackpool Combat Club has their own fucking thing. Brian has the yes chance. Is that very hard? And Blackpool Combat Club, some guy doing this. Is Claudio's fucking swing? Is that really technical wrestling? Graps, real graps, blood shit?
True.
No. Is fucking Wheeler Yuta and some of the shit he was doing? I mean, Christ Almighty, his name Wheeler Yuta is that a very?
I'm just.
He can do whatever the fuck he wants, and that's the thing. People and I would love if he got involved with the Blackpool Combat Club. I think that would be cool, and I think that's a loose end that probably should be tied up. But people are so dead set on that they need to cool off a little bit.
I'm just saying it just to put a nail in it. Now
I know,
Brian,
but I'm talking about the other people. There's so many people that are like, because it never happened, and like when it was supposed to, it's like let it fucking go, let it go.
Like
He's
I'm over it. I'm just bringing it up now.
Yeah, he's probably doing better shit than he would have done in the Blackpool Combat Club.
Very
Because
true.
number one, he wouldn't have been as over as he was. He would have been. I'm not saying he would have been another guy, because he would have. Because look at Yuta. Yuta's done very, very well for himself in the
Mhm.
Blackpool Combat Club. But I'm saying is like, he's gotten a lot more out of being by himself right now. Like him doing if it was he should be continuing what he was doing pre the Osprey match, and the MJF feud stuff. That's what he should be doing, because guess what? He was over, and it was working. So leave it. If it's working and it's getting over with the fans, then fucking leave it. Just keep doing that until it's over. Just do that. It's not hard. But yeah, Garcia, I mean, he's got to stay. I mean, this shouldn't even be a discussion.
And the last thing I want to touch upon before you jump in with your last thing, because this is another news topic. Gabe Kidd has called out MJF for a match, possibly either in America or January 5th next year at Wrestle Dynasty in Tokyo Dome.
Well, he has also called out a lot of people.
He has.
Gabe Kidd also called out Hasbulla on commentary during the G1.
Well,
so
but this is more possible to happen.
Well, he also called out Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega responded to him. He also called out Dijak. He also called out Will Ospreay. He also called out Roderick Strong. He called out Jake Lee, who's on his team. He called Walker Stewart, the English commentator in New Japan, a fat fucking slob. Gabe Kidd has called out a lot of people.
Well, I want to read what he has said towards MJF. He said, "Oh, this is a long thing. I'm just gonna read the first sentence of it. MJF, you want to come for me? Listen here, you fucking rat. The reality is, it doesn't matter what you said because you have AEW tattooed on you, you fucking loser. Are you mad? You think you can touch me in the ring? Maxwell, we're gonna do this on my fucking terms. You're not gonna walk into my turf. Nobody knows who you are in Japan, you little fucking nerd." Wow.
I know.
I'm not even gonna go far. Holy shit.
That's standard. You should have heard. He was on commentary twice for the G1, and it was one of the fucking greatest things I've ever heard. He basically, every time Walker talked, he's like, "Shut the fuck up! I'll slap the shit out of you."
He finishes it off like the final sentences are, I'm going to kill you on the mic, kill you in the ring, kill you in every aspect of this game. I'm better than you and you know it. Let's stop denying the world of what they want. Let's give them MJF versus Gabe Kidd in America, you bitch. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard about 10 of those throughout this entire G1, but they don't get old. And Gabe Kidd's one of the best in the world right now. He had an awesome tournament in the G1. But yeah, that's Gabe. That's Gabe for you.
Yep.
I mean, that's classic Gabe.
Wild. That's crazier than the fucking like Stokely tweets that we read like almost 2 years ago. Still the funniest moments of this fucking show. So what were you gonna say before I cut you off with this nonsense?
But no, it's that was basically it for the news. It's time to get into the Shizo.
Yeah, all right. So we kick off the show tonight with a match for the TBS Championship. We have Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida. And this was a great match.
Yeah, this is very good. Yeah, but very good stuff here. Mercedes, I mean, you knew what you were gonna get when you won these two air downs. This is very, very, very good. But yeah, great stuff between these two. Camille got involved. Obviously, Camille. She's the new heater for Mercedes. So, but Mercedes ended up winning with the moneymaker after Camille intervened. After the match, Britt Baker ran out and attacked Mercedes until Camille tried to intervene again, but Baker whacked her with the fucking kendo stick. Camille ended up getting duped by a fan in the crowd that she thought was presumably Britt Baker.
Camille just killed a fan. Like,
good.
In canon, she beat the living shit out of a fan.
Good. Good. I hope you know something. We should get one of those every week.
Teach
and it should
them
be a different,
not to wear fucking storyline outfits.
Until we get all wrestling fans getting the shit knocked out of them by a wrestler. Maybe we should do one every week until they hit every single wrestling fan.
God.
I think that would be something good. But yeah.
So now does Camille now just get arrested? Is she not allowed to go to just Wembley?
No, it was a plant, and nobody. Well, no,
but in canon, if
there is no canon, there is no canon. You're thinking about it too much.
Just seeing a fan get the shit beat out of them, it's like, whoa.
I wish you grabbed a real fucking fan. I wish you grabbed some fat fucking slob in the front row like Leonard, and beat the fuck out of him. Or the green shirt guy. Imagine that. Imagine him.
Green shirt guy is a weird case. He's a multimillionaire somehow.
I hate the one I hate is Leonard, the fucking guy that goes to all the WWE shows, has a sign that says Leonard, and he still has the same Natalia shirt on from fucking 2009. I hope Camille actually, you know what? I hope Brock Lesnar comes back and just tosses him over the fucking barricade and has his way with him. But whatever. But yeah. After this, we had Jeff Jarrett, Sanjay Dutt, Karen, and Jay Lethal in the back, getting ready to talk about Lethal's match with Hangman next up. But before they could even start, before he could really even answer the question, Hangman comes in and starts attacking Jay Lethal. He grabs the fucking microphone out of Renee's hand. He starts bashing Lethal over the head with it. This guy's completely fucking out of control, Hangman. Completely out of control.
Does he have a match at Wembley?
No, but I think it will be confirmed next week. I think next week it's probably gonna end up being him and Jeff Jarrett. In like a hardcore match or something like that.
I would think a bull strap match, whatever the fuck that is.
A bull rope? I don't think so, because
they
just did one. No, because they just did one on Collision last week.
Dog collar?
No. Yeah, they just did a bull rope match on Collision literally last week with Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo, so I highly doubt they're gonna do that one. I could literally just see them doing
London
like a
street fight.
That's probably what it would be. But that might not even happen. I mean, they could do something else with Hangman. Like Hangman might be involved in the main event.
True.
But yeah, they start battling
because they are thinking of doing. There's word is that they're looking on doing Swerve and Hangman 2 at.
Well, that's not even thinking of doing it. That's
at All Out.
Well, that's not even thinking about what they were gonna. That's obviously what it was gonna be, for months. I mean, regardless of who wins the title, if Brian wins or Swerve wins, regardless, that match was happening.
I don't even know. Like, I can't even call that match between Swerve and Brian. That one's really hard for me to call. Like, do you end Brian's career in front of 50,000 people, or do you do it in his hometown?
It's his decision.
Yeah.
So that's the thing people need to remember about that. We're gonna get to that later. But because that's a big time discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that match, Hangman and Swerve. Even if Brian wins the title, that match does not need. Brian doesn't even have to be on All Out, and that match could fucking. That match was gonna main event the show. Say if Brian was wins the championship, and he finds himself on the All Out show, he still wouldn't be the main event. That show was never being main evented by anything other than Hangman and Swerve. But yeah, this was a very, very good match. There was a scary Death Valley driver that Hangman hit on Jay Lethal, and I really do think he got his bell rung off of it, or he got some type of, but because Lethal looked out of it and out of sorts for the rest of the match. He was able to finish the match. Hangman won with the buckshot lariat, but right after the match, the doctors came in and they checked on Lethal. And he did seem like kind of rattled throughout the end of the match. So, I really do. I hope Jay Lethal's okay. Because that was a scary. Because they were talking. He was talking to the ref after that Death Valley driver. So, if something is wrong, get well soon to Lethal. But yeah. Anyway, after this, we had a vignette for Osprey and MJF, which it was just a big time vignette showing their history, showing basically the feud, because neither man was on the show tonight because they're both in London, because MJF had the match with Michael Oku, where he retained, and he stayed there because they're going to be in Cardiff next week, and they're going to have a face-to-face next week. But we also had...
So that's going to be a taped Dynamite then, right?
Yes, most likely. Yeah. Because that'll probably go on the air. Well, that'll go on the air at regular time, but like for us,
it'll be
they'll
taped.
they'll probably tape it around like
it'll be tape delayed
3 o'clock in the afternoon. But after this we had Pac, his ass, basically cut a promo saying, "Hey, listen, I'm the #1 contender for the international title or the American title." And Osprey weaseled his way into that match before me, and I think I'm constantly being overlooked and disrespected, and I'm getting the winner of that match at All Out, and they robbed me of my Wembley moment. He's gonna end up in the gauntlet.
That 100% gives me the feeling it's gonna be Osprey that goes over, of course. That gives me that feeling, because Osprey and Pac. Oh my god.
Well, I always thought that Osprey was gonna go over on MJF anyway, because they were gonna do the Garcia match. But yeah, that's gonna be insane. There was a possibility, because of kind of Pac getting fucked out of that match, that he would have made like an open challenge. You would have been like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna have an open challenge at Wembley because I want to have a match anyway." Yeah. And I always thought that maybe is where they do Ricochet and Pac, because even before Ricochet and Will Ospreay, the big feud on like in like Dragon Gate back in the day was Pac and Ricochet. Like Pac and Ricochet were the two big foreigners, like high flying guys in Japan.
Did you see
back in the
Ricochet's
early 2010s.
Instagram post?
No, I don't believe so.
He mimicked the Buddy Matthews and Rhea photo.
That's actually good that you bring that up, because I forgot to mention that too. Buddy Matthews also actually did re-sign with AEW. That was reported as well. He did re-sign. So hopefully he gets a little push out of that.
Okay, it's not on Instagram, but he did post it somewhere. I saw it at least. It's probably on Samantha Irving's.
Yeah.
She's been crazy.
But yeah, so Pac, he's probably gonna end up because they said they're gonna load up that casino gauntlet. So basically, every big name, I foresee that every big name that doesn't have a major match on the Wembley show probably is gonna end up in that casino gauntlet, which has become basically AEW's signature match. I mean, like like WWE has like the Royal Rumble, TNA has the Ultimate X, AEW has the casino gauntlet. Like I foresee like Jay White, Mox, Pac, probably Ricochet if they don't do that one-on-one match. Ricochet.
It's interesting that they did have Orange Cassidy go over.
Yeah, not really. I always thought that's how it would go, because Orange was gonna end up in there anyway. I think all the conglomeration guys are gonna end up in that match,
minus Kyle. Because Kyle.
No, I think Kyle.
Do you think Kyle?
No, Well, the only reason the match stipulation was just who gets the number one spot. It doesn't say if
Oh,
somebody's
okay.
barred.
Okay.
But I think all the conglomeration guys are gonna end up being. I really think Michael Oku is gonna end up in there. But yeah,
Even if you don't do the pack call out, you could also just put Ricochet there too, as like a surprise.
I said that's what I I said. Yeah,
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that everybody, all the big names that don't have a match at Wembley are gonna end up in that match. Like even Takeshita, because he'll be back by then. Shibata, I mean, if he doesn't get involved with in the hook match, because that's gonna happen. But yeah, a bunch of guys are gonna end up in that match. And even guys from probably New Japan, CMLL, thank you. CMLL, probably the British Indies, I could see. Maybe even other surprises, but we'll see. But also after this, we had Darby Allin. We had a little Darby Allin vignette.
Oh, I wanted to talk about this last week, but we didn't shoot. The fucking Jack Perry promo got cut off by the goddamn Taco Bell commercial, and Tony Khan would normally be like, "Oh, sorry, that was an accident on the network's end. Here's the full promo." He never fucking did that.
They did it on Collision.
They did? Okay.
Yeah, they replayed it on Collision.
Because I was losing my mind when I saw that.
I get it though, because it's like time constraints and the show's already timed.
Well, but even still, like, he would have posted on Twitter. You could have just did that.
Oh yeah, they just replayed it on Collision.
Because that was so funny. I'm sorry.
But what's it called? Yeah, so we had a Darby Allin vignette talking about how when he was homeless on the Indies, killing himself for about $25, he heard about AEW starting up. And he heard that they signed Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and he basically said, "Who the fuck is Jungle Boy Jack Perry?" And he realized it's the Elite signing all their friends. And he said, "Well, I need to work he didn't have to work like how I had to work to get to AEW, and he doesn't appreciate this place like I do."
See, I think it was mainly weren't like the Bucks like just friends with his dad, because his dad was like
no, they were, because they were already they knew everybody on the California Indies. And
okay, because I just figured, because like his dad was a huge fan of pro wrestling.
Nah, back in the day when they were scouting for AEW, Jungle Boy was that time period. Jungle Boy was all over the California Indies.
Okay.
Because he was obviously he's from Cali, but California indie guy, PWG at that time. He's kind of disgraced now, but when they had bar wrestling, fucking Joey Ryan's bar wrestling, that's where like Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy did a lot of their early tags. So, and if you go back to those being the Elite episodes, they were always over there.
That's true, yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, after this, Darby comes out. He didn't have an advertised match, so I'm like, all right, he's probably getting jumped, and that he did. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry runs up the ramp and knees him in the head. They start fighting into the back. Jack ends up crushing him with the garage steel door that they have at these arenas. He lowered it on him, and then he's ready, and he's about to push this giant fucking crate into his skull because his arms are trapped. I'm like, all right, this guy's gonna try to kill Darby Allin, which is fair, because Darby tried to kill him twice already. Try to set him up fire. So if you want to compress his neck, I mean, it's fair.
I will say from experience, those garage doors are fucking heavy, because I had to work with them at my warehouse. So I had to throw the trash out at the end of the night. Those shits are no fucking joke.
Yeah, so a little attempted murder, never hurt nobody. But yeah, so they're
murder?
fighting.
He was a great guy.
So Jack Perry, as he's getting hauled off by security, he tells the camera that he wants a coffin match at Wembley.
Okay, so Jack Perry's losing.
No, I don't think so.
I beg for this every fucking time, and I don't get it.
Well, it's different circumstances. I mean, Darby didn't need to lose those other matches. This
Does
time,
the casket get set on fire?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe, probably.
Maybe
But
that's
I really don't see Jack losing the title. He just won it. He literally just won the title. And they're gonna give it
I get that, but my track record of begging for someone to go over Darby in a fucking in a coffin match.
Well, it didn't make sense then. Now it does.
So the Andrade one made sense when he versed Andrade in the casket match. All right, he should.
Really.
Andrade should have went over because he needed that momentum because he was struggling.
Well, look where we are.
Yeah, I know exactly. Look where.
So it didn't matter.
And think about where we could have been.
Well, no, he was leaving anyway. He was the Ricky Starks before Ricky Starks.
And he is the speed champion.
But what's it called? Andrade. I mean, that was fine. The Ethan Page one that made sense. The Brody King one made sense. But no, this one is the first one that actually makes sense. Because last year's made sense. Last year's made sense because I mean, what are you gonna have Sting and Darby lose in Wembley? No.
I just think the only one that made sense for me for Darby to lose was the Andrade one.
But that
was the only other one. Everything else, I was like, okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. It didn't matter anymore. This one matters because this is for a title.
Okay.
And also, Jack just won it. Jack literally just won the TNT title at Forbidden Door. He literally hasn't had a defense. He has not had one single defense of this TNT title yet.
We forgot to mention that AEW is dropping the All In documentary.
Yeah, Monday.
Yep, and it looks it's gonna be interesting.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it's Jack. He just won it. Literally, he has had 0 defenses. He's not losing. You fucking crazy? And that's another thing too. Who won Blood and Guts for their team at the behest of Jack Perry? Darby. So you're gonna have Darby basically beat Jack again? He already beat him in Blood and Guts. Jack.
I mean, fair.
This is one of the easiest matches to call in the Wembley show, in my opinion. Because guess what? It ain't done. This ain't over between these two.
All right.
And I don't I really don't see Darby getting the TNT title back.
Probably not for a while, at least.
No, because what? He'll be a 4-time champion?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, no. Jack, he hasn't had a defense yet. He just won the title. He literally they basically already had Darby beat him in Blood and Guts. This guy's set him on fire. Let Jack Jack needs something. He needs something. And that's the other thing too. Guess where they're gonna be? Wembley. To the scene of the fucking crime. And guess who wins again? Jack Perry. And guess who wins in Wembley? Jack Perry.
Guess who's probably gonna use real glass in Wembley again?
I guarantee there's gonna be some real glass. There's gonna be a lot of shit. But yeah. After this, we had the triple threat match between Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong to get the #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match. This was a very, very good match. I thought it was weird how many commercials. This had like 3 commercials in it, but it made sense for the end of the show when they announced that there was going to be no more commercials for the main event. But yeah, this was a very, very good match. These boys were working. But the finish came from Orange rolled up Kyle. So Orange is gonna get the #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet. That makes sense to me. All the conglomeration guys are gonna end up in that match anyway. I don't see, and plus it's the first time they're doing the Casino Gauntlet on pay-per-view, so they don't have to worry about a time limit, like time constraints on television. So I could see this like having like because apparently like I remember like the cap is like 21 guys. I could see this going all 21. I don't think it will. I think there's gonna be at least 15 um for the match just to get as many guys in there as possible. But yeah, Orange made the most sense to me. Cuz he's the biggest draw. Like you had just because they didn't have a name attached to that match yet.
Yeah.
So you have Orange's name attached. People love Orange. So
And you
there
have all the speculations of who could show up in this spot, who could show up in that spot. Is
Yeah,
Ricochet gonna be there?
yeah, is like Ricochet gonna be there? Is fucking Mox, Jay White, Michael Oku, somebody else we're not thinking of. We don't know.
Yeah.
But after this, yeah, he could. I could see New Japan, CMLL guys, and
Or
other
even,
talent being in there.
that one guy that they wanted last year, Grado.
Grado, yep, Grado. He could. I mean, I think, I think that's a possibility. I think it's a big possibility because he already made an appearance. But I fucking want him to have his song like a prayer. But I
Oh
think
my
it's
God.
literally the worst fucking possible timing.
Yeah,
Because
of Deadpool.
because that song is in the Deadpool trailer and it's in the Deadpool movie multiple times. That price of that song has probably skyrocketed
Yeah.
in literally just a month's time. If they want to pay for like they could probably get the karaoke version because that's the thing too. On the indies, he doesn't come out to the real version. He comes out to the karaoke version.
Mm.
He comes like the DJ party mix version.
Because
He
everyone
doesn't come
knows
out
the
to the
lyrics.
actual. Yeah, he doesn't come out to the actual song. He comes out to like the karaoke party mix. So I don't know if they could get that somehow, but if they do, that would be a fucking great atmosphere.
Because I think even like when just to like even talk about the Deadpool Wolverine movie, like they said like it was hard for them to get it. They actually had to have a meeting with Madonna in order to get and to tell her where it's going to be in the movie and how it's going to do this in the movie.
It's like they didn't even have it last year because he came at the Paul White theme with Paul White.
Yeah.
Last time. So I mean that's a fucking headache and a half. So I don't know if they can't get it, they can't get it. It is what it is. But if they do, that would be really cool.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. I think your idea of like the royalty free karaoke party mix.
Well, I don't know if that would be royalty free because it's literally the same song. I don't know I don't know how that works. If they have to, I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I don't know. I thought like party mixes are just
no, because
easy
that's
to
a
get.
fucking loophole. No, that's a loophole. That's got to be a loophole and a half.
Let me see if karaoke versions are royalty free.
But yeah, I mean, he could end up in it. There's a lot of people who could end up in it. But anyway, after this we had Mariah May, and her feature film that she and it was black and white from the start. Then she said, "No, we're not doing that shit anymore." Then it went to color. She talked about how she's gonna take everything from Toni Storm. She's gonna destroy her. Last year at Wembley, she failed, and she's gonna fail again. She took all of her Toni Storm gear that she wore over the past year, and she lit it on fire. They showed videos of her attacking Toni, and this has just been fantastic. This has been the best feud probably in the company, over maybe this year. One of the best feuds in wrestling, Mariah and Toni. And this has been fantastic, so I'm very excited to see this match. But after they cut to Mina Shirakawa backstage, who is here from Japan, and Renee asked her, "How do you feel about this?" And Mina was very, very. She didn't know how to feel. She doesn't know what got into Mariah. She doesn't know how Tony's feeling. Renee asked who she thinks is gonna win, and she just basically said, I hope both of them come out of this safe." She's very confused about this whole ordeal. So, I think Mina gets involved in this somehow. I don't know if it's going to be at the pay-per-view, but I think if Mariah wins the title, I could very well see her and Mina having a title match. or like Tony and Mina teaming up against Mariah, or Mina goes heel, and it's Mina and Mariah against like Tony and Jamie, maybe.
So I'm looking at a psychokaraokeversion.com. So Like a Prayer's on there, and it only costs like $2.99 just to buy it.
Well, obviously that's you can buy anything on iTunes, like that. But I'm saying like for use
Well, no,
for
like
a production. I mean, that's a lot different. If you're gonna use it for a production or a piece of content, like a wrestling show or an event or a movie, that's a lot different than just going on a store like an app store and buying the song. That's why they go through fucking painstakingly. That's why they fucking given $3 billion to fucking Europe for Final Countdown, which they're about to do again. Because there's no fucking chance in hell Brian's not coming out to anything but that song.
especially with the
at
name of the
Wembley.
match being the Final Countdown.
I mean, like, come on, that's obviously gonna happen.
It'll be sacrilege not to have 50 million.
It's
people,
not.
or
It's not. It's
50,000
not.
people.
It's not a question. It's not a question. He's absolutely coming out to that song.
I'm trying to
But
see.
but yeah. I mean, if he has it, he has it. If he doesn't, he might not even be on the show. So
Yeah.
after this, it's confirmed. We got the confirmation of Jack and Darby as the coffin match, and then after this, we had Okada and Claudio in the back, face to face, and Claudio basically just tells because they're gonna wrestle for the Continental Championship next week. And I thought that was odd. I thought they were gonna do that at Wembley, unless it's a fuck finish, and then they do the match at Wembley anyway, or they just stick them both in the Casino Gauntlet, or there's something different going on. But Claudio basically tells Okada what he thinks of him, how he's gonna beat him. But then Okada then proceeds to cut a promo in great English. I never heard Okada speak this great English before, like complete in like for this long, and he sounded great. He's been practicing.
I won 2 G1s, bitch.
Yeah, no, 4.
4, sorry.
Yeah, he said he's like, listen, I'm the greatest. He basically told him all his accomplishments. Like, I'm the greatest tournament wrestler of all time. I've won 4 G1s. I've won 2. I've won 2. Not King of Pro Wrestling. Fucking New Japan Cups. He starts popping his pecs. He's like, he's like, I'm gonna take this title into the Continental Classic. I'm gonna remain the Continental Champion, bitch. So this was an excellent promo by Okada. Excellent. It was fucking fantastic. And Claudio retorts at him after Okada walks off, and he had a great closing line. He said, "You're gonna have 99 problems, and I'm gonna be the number one. I'm gonna be one of them, bitch." He's like, "You're gonna have I think he said you're gonna have 99 problems, and I'm gonna be your biggest one, bitch." So I'm very excited. This is the first time I think they're ever gonna wrestle in a one-on-one environment. They did have that 6-man tag match last year at Dominion. But this is the first time they're gonna be together in a one-on-one capacity. So I'm very excited for that. And we also had Christian Cage and the Patriarchy talk about how
can Killswitch not hold his fucking title?
Because he's a fucking. I mean, he's not allowed. He's not good enough.
Because before it was Christian holding all 3, and now it's
if
Christian,
did you watch?
Mother
Well,
Wayne.
if you watched Collision, they had a little ceremony where he bestowed.
I did not
bestowed.
see this. I've been
On Collision he bestowed Nick the title, saying how proud of him he was, and then he said the same thing about Killswitch. But he said, but she didn't raise but it's like you did, but he didn't raise a prodigy, and he didn't give birth to a prodigy, so he gave the other title.
That's so wild.
Mother Wayne. So
Killswitch is gonna kill him. He's gonna kill Christian.
Yeah, that's the entire gimmick. This has been a long-term story. But yeah, what happened?
We
on
saw
was...
one of the shoes start to drop at World's End.
Well, that was a long time ago. And this is still a long time coming. But there will be a triple threat tag match for the trios titles at Wembley. Last week on Collision, Christian Cage was the special guest referee for the Bang Bang Gang versus House of Black fucking championship number one contenders match, and he fucking was counting to 10 for the double knockout.
Buddy
And
got
at
up.
9, Buddy got up and he speared Buddy, and then he counted 10. He threw the match out, double count out. Double knockout. And everything devolved into chaos. It's gonna end up being Bang Bang Gang versus Patriarchy versus House of Black at Wembley. So yeah,
Who goes over?
Probably the Patriarchy because they just won them.
I think, yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, the Patriarchy wins, and then this devolves into maybe a story-ending feud in All Out?
I don't. Well, no, I think because if Jay White's back by All Out, I think they'll do Christian and Jay White at All Out.
Okay.
Because that has an, or it's a triple threat again, but it's Christian versus Jay White versus Malachi. Or if they might just do Christian and Malachi or Christian and Buddy, because Buddy was fucked over by them, and Buddy just signed a contract.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But after this, we had Hook. Hook came out. The Hook signal appeared, and he gave a lengthy promo saying how he wants Jericho at All In. Jericho came out. He said, "Hey guys, what's up?" And he's like, "Listen, you can have me at All In, but you just got to beat the Redwood, Big Bill, next week on Dynamite in Cardiff, Wales." So Hook agreed, and that's really all there was.
So we're getting Jericho and Hook.
Jericho
at
and Hook.
All In.
Probably, like Learning Tree will be involved in that. Shabbat will be involved. I could see Joe getting involved in that if he gets time off to go do this from the.
They could be filming
metal.
because I think they filmed some of that in England. I think so.
Maybe.
It might be in the area.
But yeah. After this, we had the tag team title match between the Acclaimed and the Young Bucks. This match I always knew was never gonna get a finish, just due to how the story's been going on Collision and stuff as well. But this was a great match for what it was worth until the match ended. But this was very, very good. The match ended where Rick Knox ended up getting knocked down, and fucking Brian ended up kicking Max in the nuts. Then FTR came out to try to restore order, but then Matt spit in his face, and he ended up double legging Matt and fighting him, and then Rick Knox threw the match out.
I thought Matthew was gonna do the the Eddie Guerrero, like he has his, Dax had the title, he just falls down. Cause
I mean, it wouldn't have mattered.
yeah,
It would still would have won anyway. But yeah, this was absolutely going to be a triple threat at All In. They cut to Christopher Daniels after and saying that FTR and the Acclaimed are going to have a match on Collision to name a number one contender to wrestle the Bucks at All In. That match is not going to finish. The Bucks are going to get involved, and they're going to try to take both teams out. But he's gonna have no choice, and there's gonna be a triple threat.
yeah. Maybe even as the match is happening, the Bucks interfere, and Tony Schiavone goes, "Guys, I just received word from our CEO Tony Khan that at All In it will be a triple threat for the World Tag Team title, for the World Tag Team titles." That's probably what's going to happen.
That's sad. Yeah, it's. I mean,
also, I love that they brought the announce table back to the stage.
Yeah, this was That's the thing about that.
That's 3 weeks in a row.
That's the thing about that. It's depends on the stage setup and how.
Really, I thought because I see it as
no,
now
it depends
as
on
a
the
constant.
It depends on the arena because they've been in same thing with Collision because Collision there's not even an announced table.
Yeah, they're in the back.
You could barely see it. Because the ramp tonight was basically this close away from the fucking apron. It's just the setup. There was one week where it was so it was in front of the tunnel. It was weird. Just if you zoomed out, it was in front of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's literally just stage setup. at this point.
I thought they're doing
I
it
think
because you open up more floor seats at that point.
Wembley is they're gonna have it back at the fucking.
Well, yeah, I can see that, of course.
But yeah, after this, we had an excellent Bryan Danielson video package.
And what song did they use? Fucking Time of Your Life.
I knew I've heard this song before. I didn't know who it was from though. But I do remember hearing the song before.
It also was it was in the end. It was in the credits of Deadpool Wolverine as well.
Oh, that's probably where I noticed it from. But it was a great video package highlighting Danielson's career. Showed a lot of his early AEW stuff, just his current AEW stuff, and then they would cut in between to his old ROH stuff, his old stuff in Japan, in the UK. It was excellent. Basically, they went through like every single one of his big matches in AEW and in Ring of Honor. They showed clips from him hanging out backstage with like guys like Colt Cabana and Roderick Strong. Do
we ever get the thing about this now? Like, pending on even in the outcome of this match, do we ever get Nigel and Bryan in a match?
I think that ship has sailed. Because if it was gonna happen, it was gonna happen last year, and
so heartbreaking.
And I thought it was gonna happen this year, but
maybe,
then if Ospreay and Swerve was the main event, but it's not.
I would like to say this. But I think it's not even gonna happen if I think about it. At Wrestle Dream.
No.
Like that's just my like last thought idea.
Because that would be foolish. Because number one, guess where Wrestle Dream is? Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah. So
who is from Tacoma, Washington? Swerve Strickland. If Bryan Danielson wins the title, he is dropping it to Swerve in his hometown. At Wrestle Dream. Where did Bryan Danielson say he wanted to stop being a full-time performer?
In his hometown.
No, he said specifically Wrestle Dream. He's been saying a lot of shit on podcasts lately, and I think it's on purpose because to gas up the match. I think that's why they made this like little video package too. But I really can't call the match, but if he's winning, he's gonna drop the title back to Swerve in Tacoma. There's no Nigel said there was one thing that could get him out of retirement. It was a match of Bryan Danielson at Wembley Stadium. I think the ship has sailed. I mean, Nigel might not even want to come out of retirement. That's the thing too. He might not even want to come out. It might just him just continuing living the gimmick. But yeah, that's definitely not happening there. But after that great video package. We had Bryan in the crowd, and we had the main event between Wheeler Yuta and Swerve Strickland. This was a great match. It was really just a statement match to show Swerve was doing a lot of technical wrestling in this match to show Bryan that he could go toe to toe with him. He kept staring at Bryan while he was working on Yuta. He gave Yuta, I think, 4 or 5 house call kicks to the head. To put Yuta away. Well, not to put Yuta away, but then he ended up kicking Yuta's head and started ground and pounding him. And then Bryce ended up having to call for the match to be finished due to referee stoppage. So there was that. And after that, Bryan jumped the guardrail and Swerve ran off. He got on the mic and said, "Listen, that's what's going to happen at Wembley. Your daughter... Like, just where were you sitting? Your daughter is gonna sit there and watch you while I cripple you at Wembley, and I'm gonna retire you."
And he walks off.
And then he walks off, and then Bryan goes to check on Yuta. Swerve sprints back to the ring, hits a flush house call kick on Bryan right to the head, and then starts doing the slow yes chants, and that's how they go off the air.
While Nana was dancing.
Yeah, and that's how they go off the air. I thought this was a very, very good show. Really enjoyed it tonight. Great build up for stuff for Wembley. Bryan and Swerve. That's gonna be
a hell of a match.
That's gonna be crazy. People are gonna be hanging on every fucking fall in that match because I don't know. A lot of people thought they gave away the finish when they said, "Oh, career versus title." I don't think so. I think there's a high chance that Brian says, "You know what? Maybe this is the best place to go out." But
Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm fucking scared shitless because I want him. There's still a lot of Brian I want to see. But
Mhm.
yeah, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'm very excited, for Wembley.
As am I. I think Wrestler of the Week. I want to give it to Swerve because he's putting in amazing work. He went from working the face stuff, now immediately going back to his heel work with his Brian story. He's absolutely killing it.
For me, I guess for this week, I'll go. Um, I'll go Hangman. I think Hangman has reinvented himself, and I love this. I mean, I love the psycho fucking out of control Hangman that we've been getting. Maybe my favorite iteration of Hangman right now. This has been awesome to watch, and I can't wait for it to come full bore when he finally gets back to Swerve.
Also, I unintentionally mimicked his facial hairstyle by trimming
Yeah.
the facial hair and leaving the mustache behind, unintentionally. But yeah, it was thank you all for watching. I'm gonna go to bed soon. Saturday, I'm going to a Jets game because they're preseason with the Panthers Saturday.
Oh, jeez.
So
That's a winner of a game.
listen,
Lord have
it's my only
mercy.
fucking chance to actually see the Jets play a game while I'm
Yeah.
down here.
Wolf mud on.
I'm not fucking going back up. I
Jesus
can't.
Christ.
But
I mean,
in
you
this
could probably
sense-
go to. I mean, you could probably go to Panthers games this season for about fucking $2. So.
My tickets were resale. They're pretty much in God's country. They're up in the nosebleeds, but they're decent seats. They're like smack dab in the middle of the field.
I mean, you could probably just walk down. It's preseason.
I doubt it, because a lot of the seats were like sold, but my seats were like $10 each for like resale.
Yeah.
The only thing that killed me was parking.
Yeah, I mean, two sorry ass organizations. What do you expect?
But I will be going back to that stadium in December because I'm probably going to treat my dad to a Cowboys game.
Oh, another sorry ass organization. Couldn't be mine. Couldn't be. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that.
Listen.
Don't know nothing about it.
Listen, I enjoy my suffering. But all right, guys, I guess maybe a full show next week. We don't know. All depends on how stuff goes. All right, we will see you all later. Peace.